Okay, so new BBC article basically outlining Israel's final solution plan in northern Gaza right now, and it seems like it's going to extend to the rest of it. At least right now, what they're planning on doing is consolidating it into ghettos. It seems very similar to another sort of discriminating factor. But first, let's just read the facts on the ground that we know right now from the BBC that still doesn't let their journalists use the word genocide in any of their articles. So this is definitely be very biased toward Western media and biased toward Israel before we even start reading this. People living in the D5 area of northern Gaza to move south. D5 is a square on the grid superimposed over maps of Gaza by the Israeli Defense Force. Let me see. Okay, so this is like more of the region, just like a map of like at least northern Gaza, and these are the areas that are considered to be like not continually able to be like have like safe people or like safe zones. Um, I guess the main issue is that really going block by block like this obviously isn't working that much because they're literally like bombing here, they're bombing here, they're bombing here, they're bombing a lot of the shit. It's just it's really horrific. Like imagine your like country that's literally was born from a mass expulsion of your people. Like the Gaza in itself like was basically created as a concentrated area for the fucking Palestinian people to go because that's literally how genocidal their immediate fucking sanctioning and beginning of this country was. Like, does nobody understand what the Nakba is? Does nobody understand that whenever they kick the people out of the fucking like literal towns that would be on like a full map of Israel, like over here, they kick them out, put them into Gaza, and now it's their kids or even them themselves who are directly displaced by the Nakba, who are not allowed to leave, who do not have food, who do not have any type of humanitarian care, and who are most likely dead or dying right now at this point. Um, it is fundamentally I think one of if not the worst crime of the 21st century that we're witnessing right now simply because of the fact of how open and deliberate and unjust and cruel it is to the Palestinian people while being so widely accepted and even celebrated by Western media, Western forces, Western countries. It is fucking disgusting. So they have a new humanitarian area. I didn't know about a lot of these developments. I must admit that I've and I think it's a wrong. I think it's genuinely kind of wrong for Americans to do this in the most part. Like, but I've missed a lot of the very specifics of their genocide. So Rafah is no longer a humanitarian area. They've already bombed it. They've already invaded it. They've already destroyed a lot of the people there, and any children who are there are most likely dead at this point. Because at this point, there's also evidence that the IDF is openly targeting babies via shot twice in the head, many a time. There's multiple doctors who have came out and said that in Gaza and even the West Bank, there's multiple accounts of IDF soldiers very commonly double tapping children just because they can and because the world is going to let them. Um, I hate to say there's the I feel like I really should have been talking about this a little bit more on my channel because this is a main thing that I obviously care about, and unfortunately this video is not going to do the situation justice. It's not going to be um able to be a perfect cognitive like connection of everything that's going on right now in that situation, but I do fundamentally believe that at least understanding what's going on in Israel for what it is, which is an Israeli Western-backed genocide, and where a British and American airplanes were actively giving Israel basically targeting advice I just need to type this in. Yep. UK military's flown 200 missions over Gaza in support of Israel. And I genuinely just don't think that America has these like stats like is open to the people, but we have fundamentally done the exact same thing. Because of course we do, because that's of course how we work. We have fucking aircraft or plane carriers right docked outside of it. Of course, we're gonna be flying fucking planes over the area. Like the second that we moved those carriers over there, the second that Hezbollah got involved, we were always flying planes over that area, and we were targeting specifically civilian areas, all targeted and a lot of the time acquired through complete negation of any type of humanitarian ideas. Oh my fucking god. Why is it, who cares about this fucking Cold War, dude? What is this shit? Dear god, this is gonna be a really bad video. The main issue I think that's with a lot of, people is that they don't fucking use their eyes and they just listen to what people say. Like, for example, Donald Trump says he's gonna let Israel finish the job. That's bad, right? I don't like Trump. He's a fascist, right? So, what the fuck is the difference between Kamala Harris actually letting Israel finish the job and Trump saying he's going to, then maybe doing it in 4 years? Like, if you can label Trump a fascist correctly for doing that, then you can also label Kamala Harris a fascist correctly for doing the exact same thing. And even when you go onto, the immigration thing, and yet Kamala Harris is also fucking racist as hell. You see her going to fucking Bolivia, or I think it was maybe Guatemala, I can't remember the exact country, but going to a fucking specific South American country that was specifically devastated from American imperialism and being like, don't come, do not come, we don't want you here. We fundamentally do not want you here. You are a part of the third world. You need to stay where you are, and if you think that you can come up into our country, you're wrong, okay? That is the fundamental message that American presidents have been sending since, not kind of since Donald Trump. At least Democrat presidents have been saying since Donald Trump. They've moved their Overton window of what's acceptable in immigration to just be completely fucking right. Like, it's insane. They just completely ignored the whole nation of immigrants thing, completely ignored the whole let's just not be racist guys thing, or even just like the woke scolding that fucking Democrats used to at least like actively try and make their big thing, right? Like, because they like black people so much. Like, that shit at least secured some type of vote, but they can't really do that whenever they're going to be killing people en masse. Like, it doesn't work as much whenever it's like, oh, it's a black woman killing people. Like, who cares? They're murdering people. So that's why the Arab American vote is going half Trump and half Kamala. Because even though Trump has been agitating ruthlessly about how anti or how Islamophobic he is, it does not matter, because all he needs to do is shut the fuck up about Israel, go up to the stage and say he's anti-war. And that's all it takes for a lot of people to just look at the situation, some Arab Americans especially, and say, what is worse than genocide? There's no evil worse than genocide. There's literally no fucking evil. Like, I think this is literally the most evil, like an extermination of an entire people. I feel like it's fundamentally something that most people agree on as the worst, most evil thing imaginable for a nation or state to do on a large scale. There's a reason why we all hate the Holocaust. There's a reason why we all should hate Hitler. But it seems like we're just seeing another fucking Hitler. We're seeing another person who's being emboldened by more globally strong forces than Hitler ever had. And I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I'm voting for Claudia de la Cruz. I'm voting socialist. It makes sense. You, fundamentally, if you are socialist in any capacity, which I am, by the way, fuck off if you aren't. Just keep hating in the comments, though. I love the clout. If you are socialist in any capacity, vote for Claudia de la Cruz. Goodbye. Election day is coming up November 5th. Don't fucking miss it. At least do something. Show your support for at least a socialist candidate. Do not vote, though, for either of the bourgeois parties. Both of them are going to do genocide. At the end of the day, no matter who wins, if you vote for Kamala Harris or if you vote for Trump, you are going to be thinking, my hands are stained with blood. Bye.